Welcome to this video where we will learn about the legendary Saiva Saint, Karaikal Ammaiyar. She hailed from the town of Karaikal, which is part of the Chola kingdom. This great coastal town can be found today on the eastern coast of India, on the northern banks of the Varalaaru, and roughly 35 kilometers southeast of Mayiladuthurai. Karaikal Ammaiyar lived around the 5th century in the Common Era, and in today's world is known as the only saint within the 63 Nayanars to have their statue or deity shown in a seated posture. She is also the earliest of the 3 female Nayanars. She is in fact one of the authors of the magnificent 11th Thirumurai and has composed many devotional compositions, of which we have access to 143 songs in today's world. Karaikal Ammaiyar's Guru Pusai is annually celebrated on the Swati Natchatram of the Tamil month of Panguni, which is usually from mid-March to mid-April. Circular Swamigal has shared Karaikal Ammaiyar's glories with the rest of the world in his amazing Periya Puranam and has dedicated 66 songs to her in these great works. As Karaikal Ammaiyar is one of the earliest Nayanars, many other great saints have also sung her glories. Now we know a few details about Karaikal Ammaiyar, let's learn a bit more about her story. In the great coastal city of Karaikal, where one could see innumerable beautiful conch shells along the coast, accumulating and being deposited by the waves of the sea, where many merchant vessels were active along the town's seashore, where honest and dutiful merchants were found in abundance, lived a man known as Dhanadatta, who was the chief of the area's merchants. A hard-working and honest man, it was due to his positive accumulated karma that he had the great blessing of being the father of the great Punithavadiyar, who was his daughter. Such was the glory of this intelligent and loving child that the great Circular Swamigal has shared that she was like an avatar of Goddess Lakshmi herself. Punithavadiyar was a great devotee of the all-loving Lord from a very young age, even when she was a toddler, and she would speak only good words which were aligned with her focus, which never diverted from the Lord's lotus feet. Her father, who earned well given his role as the leader of the town's merchants, performed all the rites and rituals as expected as the child grew. Even as the years passed, the young Punithavadi, who only spoke good words which pleased the all-loving Lord and his devotees, did not swerve from her life's aim, and shone like a beacon of light, as a leading example for all to follow. Thus she was admired by all within her family. As she reached marriageable age, such were her innumerable positive attributes that many people were approaching her family's home to ask for her hand in marriage. It was during these times that some wise men were sent to the affluent Karaikal area by a well-known merchant called Nidhibadi. The men who were sent by their colleague towards the home of Dhanadatta were given the instructions of sharing with Dhanadatta that they themselves were looking for a suitable bride for Nidhibadi's son Paramadattan, and stated that they would be pleased if Paramadattan could marry Dhanadatta's glorious daughter Punithavadi. All the parties involved felt this would be a great alliance and so agreed to this marriage. Dhanadatta, who upheld his dharma and always treated his guests well, did so for these men too, before they took his leave and returned to their well-known coastal hometown of Nahe. Nidhibadi was delighted to hear such great news after his men relayed what had happened to him, and both families made amazing arrangements in preparation for their child's wedding. As the wedding day approached, wedding drums welcomed Paramadatta and his family into the city of Karaikal, and they made their way to Dhanadatta's mansion before the bride and groom were married in a great ceremony. The newlywed couple lived here for a while, and as Dhanadatta could not bear to be separated from his daughter, he made sure to build a great house for Punidavadiyar in a nearby location and gave the couple a lot of wealth so they can start their married life comfortably. The young couple lived an ideal married life, and as Paramadattar, who was the son and son-in-law of great merchants, started well with his own business and work, Punidavadiyar also upheld and performed her duties of domestic life flawlessly and still remained unswerved from her limitless devotion towards the all-loving Lord. When any of the Lord's devotees came to their house, she ensured that they were treated to amazing food and also gave them clothes, jewels and gold. This way, the young couple lived happily while enjoying performing their duties. It was during another day just like this when some men met with Paramadattan at his workplace and gave him 2 mangoes as a gift. Paramadattan was very grateful for this kind gift and requested one of his workers to take these mangoes to his house. Punidavadiyar, who received these mangoes at their house, kept them safely. It was at this time when an elderly devotee of the all-loving Lord came by their house and was very hungry. The great Punidavadiyar, who realized this, immediately made it her priority to appease his hunger. Thus, she offered him water to refresh himself before neatly laying out a leaf to serve him food. Punidavadiyar, who was like Goddess Lakshmi herself, had at the time cooked rice but had not yet made any curry. She thought to herself and realized that when the servitor of the Lord himself has come as a guest, can there be a boon greater than this? As she did not want the devotee to wait further and experience the pain of hunger, and as she wanted this Sivanadiyar to have a wholesome meal, she took one of the fragrant mangoes sent over by her husband and served it to the devotee alongside the rice with great delight. Thus, this elderly devotee, who was struggling with hunger and fatigue, instantly felt satisfied and energized with this timely and wholesome meal served by Punidavadiyar, and thus was very grateful. Soon after the Sivanadiyar had left, as noon approached, Paramadattan returned home to have a bath and take his midday meal, as he usually did. After his bath, Paramadattan sat down for his meal, and the great Punidavadiyar, who had made a wonderful range of curried dishes to go along with the rice, neatly laid a banana leaf upon which she served the freshly cooked meal. Punidavadiyar then also gave Paramadattan the remaining mango of the 2 mangoes, which Paramadattan had sent home earlier on in the day. Upon eating this tasty mango, Paramadattan, who enjoyed it so much, felt he would only be satisfied after having another one, and asked Punidavadiyar to also bring the other mango, as he assumed the other mango was still there. Punidavadiyar, who went away to fulfill her husband's wish, found herself in a very difficult situation. The great Punidavadiyar, who always treaded on the path of righteousness and truth, at the same time did not want to refuse her husband's request. How could she get at the unavailable fruit?